what I'm doing. What are we doing? What am I doing? Crap, I don't know what I'm doing. Um, oh, I'm building D&D stuff today. Yeah. Um, so I sometimes like to stream video games. I like to stream building D&D stuff, and I guess we're gonna start streaming D&D stuff. I guess I don't know. I don't know why I decided to do this. I do like building D&D stuff, and I feel like I should stream it if I'm gonna do it. And maybe I'll use these in one of my campaigns that I run. But I think streaming D&D stuff is really cool, and I'd like to do it myself. And why not stream me actually building some stuff for a future campaign? Or maybe I won't ever use this campaign. Maybe I'm not going to use a campaign. Maybe I will. Who knows? Because I have all sorts of ideas for weird campaigns, and my players may not be interested in those. They may not be interested in the one that I'm going to make today, but maybe they will. Maybe I'll run it sometime other time. But if you're watching, you're just like, hey, I saw this somewhere. I don't know why you'd be watching this. I'm streaming to no one right now. So if you're watching this, you're probably watching the VOD. And this, I don't know how you found it. I don't know, where you came across this, but this is me building, I guess, the first little dungeon for this new campaign I'm putting together, which I think we call the Dragon of Argon Mountain, which I'm kind of taking inspiration from the what is the new starter campaign that came out last year? Something like the Dragon of Ice Peak Tower or something. I have read nothing about that, nothing from the module or anything, but that sounds like a cool and interesting introductory campaign for players. That sounds really good. Wizards of the Coast probably did a great job on it, probably better than I'm going to do. But I like to build my own campaigns. I like to run my own campaigns, and I'm just going to do that because I think building that, and even if I don't get to run it, I like building my campaigns, and I'm guessing maybe someone might get some sort of inspiration here, right? You probably won't want to use this exactly, but I think this process is at least going to be maybe inspiring to someone somewhere, perhaps just only one person ever, because this is how I go about doing and building a bunch of my stuff. So I guess without further ado, what are we doing? We're building the first dungeon. Because I think that's a good place to start. I kind of wanted to build the first town, but I think building the first dungeon is also kind of important. We can talk about the town as well, because that might be important to building the dungeon as well. Now, there's a dragon. There's a dragon on a mountain. That's all we know right now about this campaign. So if I'm talking about the first dungeon, we got to think about what sort of NPCs and encounters are going to be in the first dungeon, right? And you can use some typical trope monsters. But because we already know there's a dragon in this campaign, I think kobolds obviously are the ideal choice, or at least the typical choice for this campaign. Obviously, if you're gonna take any inspiration from this, you don't have to take kobolds. If you like the map or whatever, anything else I do here, obviously, the kobolds are just something that I like to do. I like kobolds. I do a funny voice for the kobolds, so it's something I like to do. And we need to. First we really need to start working on a map, right? We know what kind of monsters we want here that might sort of inspire what sort of map design you want to use. I recently played in the Sunless Citadel, and I kind of liked that map a little bit, so I might take some inspiration from that. Before I do anything, what am I doing for the players, right? I'm building this dungeon, and what's the goal? What do I want the players to be at the end of this dungeon, right? Do I want to kill any of them? No. It's the first dungeon. If I'm playing with experienced players, they might die, right? You're not supposed to build a dungeon to kill anyone, right? But I don't want first level characters just to go in here and die, even if it is summoned by super miraculous randomness chance, which, you really can't control that. Sometimes characters roll ones on their death saves, and they fail 2 in a row or something, and they fail the medicine checks. Sometimes people die. You're not supposed to design a dungeon just for people to die. And knowing that, I think I need to design this knowing sort of what levels I expect the players to be, right? I think I just want to design this to be a dungeon where it gets them from first to second level. So that means it's not a big, long dungeon. That means it's going to be something relatively small. And it's going to have kobolds in it, which is nice, because kobolds aren't worth a lot of experience. You can throw a good bit of them at the party, and they'll get a lot of like experience with combat if they're new. If they're not new, obviously I'll just cleave through them and just clean them up really quickly if you got experienced players. But if they're new, they'll have a lot of experience learning their basic first level abilities and techniques and stuff. Because they're gonna have generally a few more combats than you might if you threw some bigger enemies at them that are worth more, but maybe not more difficult to fight. Because in 5th edition, there's a lot of monsters that, like, if we look at a kobold, let's see. Actually, I should probably load all the modules while I'm talking. I probably should have done that. Actually, I don't think I need these. I'm gonna unload these. These are just all some coding stuff for when I'm actually playing with characters. Right now, we're only playing with me. I'm the only one playing, so I'll just load all the big important ones. You know, they get my monsters and stuff all loaded up. And if I end up playing this with someone, we'll load the other ones. But yeah, I've only got the Monster Manual, the D&D Player's Handbook, and the Dungeon Master's Guide. That's all I own for Fantasy Grounds. I like Fantasy Grounds. I play it on Roll20. I think Roll20 is a good platform for a different reason than Fantasy Grounds. Fantasy Grounds does a lot of automation that I really like for experienced GMs and experienced players who already know all that tediousness and are kind of tired of it or bored of it. Fantasy Grounds is great. That's why I like it. That's why I'm switching over to it. Roll20 I think is great for new players and new DMs especially because it teaches them to sort of manually figure this stuff out. That way they don't have a system, you know, in here that's keeping track of hit points for them, doing all this extra save stuff, having to figure it out, right? In Roll20, you got to kind of know that yourself, keep track of hit points, do all sorts of things that a new player I think should know. And with Fantasy Grounds here, if you're bored of all that stuff, it's tedious, right? You just want to get through combat, get to the next thing, and maybe you're not speed running, but some of this tedium of marking every single hit point when you get hit, trying to figure out what your spell save DC every single time for each spell is, or waiting for someone else to make a roll sometimes. That's a little too tedious, and you're kind of over it, right? Fantasy Grounds is nice because there's a lot of automation that does that. So let's see, do I have all my modules? I think I got all the important ones. I don't need, that's a module I created for something else. But yeah, the main core books is what I need essentially. And see, we've got all our NPCs, and I think we're gonna take just from the D&D. Because I was talking about, originally, the difference in difficulty for some of these monsters. So, let's see, a kobold is CR 1/8, yep. So kobold is CR 1/8, it's got 5 hit points and an armor class of 12 generally. Obviously that can change if you sort of understand how armor classes work. But there's a bunch of different things. Like if you pull out a cultist who's got 9 hit points, almost twice as much, similar armor class, but it generally tends to do less damage. This is something that's worth the same amount of experience, but I would say is more difficult to fight than a kobold, right? I mean, one-on-one it is absolutely. If it's one cultist versus one PC, if it's one kobold versus one PC, obviously a cultist is stronger than a kobold because it just has more hit points. Hit points are really important for determining the difficulty of an enemy. But a lot of the kobold's damage comes from his pack dex ability. You know, yeah, he's got +4 to hit versus +3. He's got a sling as well if he really wants to use that. And you can play kobolds more tactically than you could a cultist. But generally, pack tactics is where they get all their badass strength as a kobold. But since we're using kobolds, we got the nice little token already here because we got the monster manual and everything. The kobolds, we got to kind of think what do kobold dungeons look like, right? They're kind of ratty. They're very, very similar to goblins, and we want to make a map that sort of reflects that, right? They're living in this dungeon too, right? If we want to go above and beyond, we can even design this dungeon a little bit to really show, you know, what these kobolds and what their living conditions are like too, right? We could go above and beyond and do that, but I think first hitting the dungeon, at least the mechanics for the players and stuff, is probably more important to take care of first. So what do I want? I'm gonna need to make a map. Let's put on categorize. We'll be putting stuff in the folder and bring a map across first. Now I've got all sorts of folders and stuff. Pull it up on this side with all sorts of maps that I use and stuff. And I might I might be inspired to take one from there, right? I've got literally them organized and stuff. This is probably the most organized I've ever been for docks and stuff because I've run a pirate campaign. Got all sorts of maps that I would like to use, and I've got dungeons, right? I've got all sorts of cool dungeons I've found online, I've used before. I've got ones I've made before, which is what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to build a dungeon before, right? I built stuff that looks like, you know, this super long, complicated thing. And this wasn't something I built. This is something I randomly generated. This was one that I built before. And it doesn't look all special or anything. Some of them are better, you know, I've slowly learned. And it's probably not going to look great when I make it today. But we're going to be using we're probably going to be making it in, what is it called? Dungeon Painter Studio, because I kind of like Dungeon Painter Studio. I've been learning that a little bit, but I need a little bit of inspiration. I want to start it first. So where do I get inspiration for my dungeons, right? Well, if I have like a design, if I've seen another dungeon that I like to use, I'll use that. But sometimes I just need a little bit of inspiration from, say, Don John, who has a bunch of cool new resources for D&D, especially 5th edition. One of them that I like to use is the little random dungeon generator, which maybe the internet's completely crashing, maybe because I'm streaming. It's not going to work. But if this does load, it'll give us some options here. So you can sort of see a little preview of what a dungeon might look like if you generated with these things. So dungeon level, party size. It isn't super important because it'll also give you monsters and stuff for this. But essentially what I'm doing is I'm going to try and find, you know, it makes something that seems, you know, interesting. Something interesting that I can sort of start from. Let's see, it's got a bunch of different little things. Peripheral egress, yes. So essentially it's going to need to have an entrance, right? It previews and shows this is what peripheral egress shows, right? No, yes, you can have many, so it'll show a bunch of them. We want one because we just want an entrance. This is probably just going to be a 1-floor dungeon. We want stairs? I don't think so, right? It's only 1 floor. I might change my mind on that later. It seems like the preview is broken. That's great. Do I want the room layout? How do I want this done? Do I want it symmetric? I kind of like symmetry. Room sizes, I can decide how they're going to be. Since we have like a standard size map, I should probably, wait, what's the standard size? Standard size medium. I probably want small. I used it before, and small seems like a decent single level size. But doors, we probably want doors. We probably want standard doors. What are death trap? I don't think I've seen that before. You just show the different traps and stuff. Like, we're not actually going to be using this map for anything except some inspiration. So we want labyrinth, errant corridors. We probably want straight-ish corridors. I mean, you can play around with this if you want to. I'm just remove some dead ends. Yes, I don't want dead ends. And we'll build it. We'll see what this looks like. And obviously, like there's more tools and stuff. It'll give you encounters if you really want them. It'll describe everything. You can entirely use this on your own for your dungeon, right? I'm probably just gonna make a couple of random dungeons and maybe just pick one to sort of inspire me, like some cool, interesting thing. And then we're gonna build it on Dungeon Painter Studio, which is probably launch right now. So it's got some weird name. It's level 1 of a dungeon, and it's bigger than I would probably use for this dungeon, right? But that's okay because I'm not actually going to use it. I'm just sort of gonna think about this and see what I want to use of this dungeon design. This is a little cramped for what I think, but I kind of like the starting area here, right? Where I like the symmetry too. That's sort of a personal aesthetic. So I'm thinking maybe we have an entrance down to the south and have some sort of, you know, main starting room here that sort of leads up-ish somewhere, right? Right, I'm not taking this, you know, super serious, you know, as gospel, right? I'm using Dungeon Painter Studio. I have not used this a huge ton, but I think I know what I'm doing, right? We want walls probably first. I could do a floor first. I could probably do a floor. I've got some. Essentially, you can just grab mods and stuff for Dungeon Painter Studio and get a lot of nice stuff. What looks like a good floor? Castle floor. It doesn't have a lot of floors. Crypt floor. That looks kind of nice. What's that look like? Zoomed in too much. That doesn't look too bad. All right, maybe we'll use that at first. Let's grab that and put it up top. I think I can make it bigger too if I want to from here. Like that. No. Sorry, this is also me learning a little bit. Nope, that just grabs boost. Okay. I want you in the top right corner. There, okay. And edits. What do I need to do? Yep, so I can just I can make this bigger or smaller if I need to. This is just the basic floor, so I know what I'm working with, more or less. So let's see, walls. Go back to castle walls. No, just keep showing floors here. It's got some walls, got some painted walls. How's this look? I don't kind of like that. We'll Control Z, get rid of that. Tabletop's got some walls. I think you're kind of intended to use the module, whatever module you end up getting, with the same sort of group. So like if I use dungeon props, then some of these don't even have walls. It seems just using the same old ones. Either that or this is stuck a little bit. Fantasy Fortress. Okay, that might be a bit better. See, do we want this dungeon made out of bricks? Maybe we do. Maybe this is made of bricks. Maybe it's made of blocks. Yeah. Is this a cave? Right? Is this a cave, or is this built into? Is this actually a dungeon? I think this is the dungeon, right? I said it's a dungeon. Caves can be dungeons, but I made the little donjon map, and I mean this is the dungeon, right? And this is where we're gonna take inspiration from, right? I think I'm just gonna put the entrance right here into one main room. So that wall a little small. That's probably fine. And I'll probably clean this up a little bit. Maybe. I don't exactly know what I'm gonna do yet, but I mean this does kind of blend in a little bit. Make a room about like that. Let's see. How far was this? It was a little 7. Okay, so I need to. I'll go like that. Because this is 5 there. Again, like symmetry. 5 there, 5 there. Okay. And so this is supposed to be the first little room. Remember, right click a scroll. This is gonna be the first little room. I haven't built doors yet. I haven't put doors in here. We'll probably remove the walls and make doors in a little bit. But kind of like this sort of, it's got a door up here, maybe 2 doors up top. So it's got 4 different directions. Maybe 4 directions is too much. Maybe 4 directions is too much. I do like the idea of branching paths that don't lead to the same place. So maybe 2 of them lead to the same place and 1 of them leads to the third. Maybe we make 3. Maybe we make 3 paths. Right here, this is the entrance. You know, the PCs are going to come through the entrance here, and they're probably going to have their first encounter here, but we're not putting encounters here yet. It's good to think of where we're going to put encounters when we're building this. I think that's important. But let's okay. Let's delete these walls again. All right, I put them up there originally. And now I'm just going to remove them because, yeah. Okay, so I think I'm going to have a door here, here, and here. So I'm going to have 3 different doors. Again, this is going to be a little symmetric, and then it'll probably become a little asymmetric later. I think I want this might lead into one of these, or maybe they're all completely unconnected. I might need more room. I've kind of made this a little small now that I think of it. I can move this, no problem. I'll put that here. So, and then if I grab all that, yeah, I can just move it like that, right? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Apologies if this is boring and tedious, right? If you want to find someone else who actually knows what they're doing and does this better, by all means do. I have no idea what I'm doing for the most part. I know some basics. I'm not some top tier DM. I don't claim to be. I hope that I'm good. Right? I think that I'm good, but if I'm not, I go find someone else that does not offend me. I mean, no one's watching me right now, so obviously I'm not great at any stretch of the imagination. We want walls probably again, because this is probably going to go around. So yeah, we'll just build out 3. And I think this is going to be a little corner room here, like this. And I'm gonna build the same thing on the other side. Exact same thing, in fact. You know, get the idea of symmetry going. I do kind of dislike how the background and the bricks here are a little too close in color. That might be something I change in a future dungeon. Right, I'm learning as much as anything else here. So let's see. Yeah, we want 2 little side rooms here. We're gonna put doors. Let's see, objects. I think doors are in objects, right? Just search for door. Perfect. Door. And these are kind of nice. Yeah, I kind of like those. We're gonna have to turn them a little bit. I'll put one there, put one there. We got a double door up here, which will go back to normal. Perfect. So we've got 3 doors in here, and they're probably gonna walk into this room, and there's probably gonna be kobolds waiting for them here. So this will be their first little encounter, and then all the doors are gonna be closed for the most part. And then I'm gonna guess it's really up to them, but they might. Do I want a second door here? Yeah, I probably do. I probably do want a second door. These branching paths, I think, are gonna start. Let me go back to walls here. We'll put doors in once we finish the room. But let's see. We've got. Let's go. That's a nope. That's a nope. Gotta leave that door. I gotta remember to put that back in. Let's see. See now it's kind of important to think of what monsters I'm gonna have in addition, because you don't just want kobolds in the first room done. You probably want something else. It'd be cool to have something other than kobolds in every single fight, right? I could sit down and do different types of kobolds, right? I probably will have like a big boss kobold at the end of this dungeon. We'll probably build that in a few hours time, probably, because that's how long it takes for me to sometimes build some of this stuff. But you know, kobolds and goblins, you gotta think. They're very similar, but let's see, goblins kind of like to tame. What are they? Wargs. They ride wargs into battle. What do goblins have? Like, goblins are already related to dragons. They have wormlings. They have dragonlings. Small little, dragon beasts that they can control sometimes. So we might have a wormling in here. We might have a wormling. That might be another little boss in here as well. And let's see. Let me go back to fantasy rounds. In fact, let me not go back to fantasy. Let me leave this up. Let me pull up this tab again and open up something else. I'm gonna pull up 5e tools, and right, this is me just like I'm rambling about. Right, I was building the dungeon now I'm thinking about what monsters I want. Right? I'm just gonna almost OCD style go back and forth, and just take me wherever the inspiration goes. Right. So let's go to dragons. Yeah, I'm literally gonna search by dragons and find the weakest dragons. So there's like little pseudo dragons. We have little pseudo dragons. Sort of placed without here. Ambush Drake, that sounds cool. That's from the Horde of the Dragon Queen, right? I don't own this module, but I could make this monster pretty easily. What does it do? It has pack tactics. I like that. Kobolds have pack tactics. Surprise attack. If it surprises a creature, I probably won't go crazy surprising guys in the dungeon. But a dragon wormling. That sounds great. Fairy dragons are kind of cool. These are all in the monster manual. I want to use a fairy dragon? Probably not. I probably want to stick with typical wormlings. Guard drakes are kind of cool too. I like guard drakes. Blue guard drake, that looks cool. Maybe now I should decide what color this dragon on this mountain is. Right? What color is it? There are, I mean, the chromatic dragons are generally bad dragons. Those are the ones you're fighting. Like bronze dragons, bronze are the lawful, good. You know, black dragons are the chaotic, evil. Right, white dragons are also evil. Right, brass dragons are good. Right, it's the metallic dragons that are good. It's the colored dragons that are bad. And let's see, in Storm King's Thunder, there's a blue dragon that is the big bad enemy, which is really, really cool and interesting. Do I want to copy that, right? This is a dragon that lives on top of a mountain, right? I gotta think, or maybe I should think, you know, where do each of these dragon types live? I know a little bit about some of these dragons, right? Fire breath, does a fire dragon seem like something that lives on top of a mountain? Maybe it is. We're not gonna use a wormling, we're probably gonna use a lower tier one. Like black dragons, they're kind of acid breathy, right? They live in swamps and stuff. But I'm thinking blue. I'm thinking blue because I kind of like blue. Right? I could use, obviously, you could use any of the metallic dragons. Even though they are good, you know, they might not be on you know, adventurers coming into their territory and attacking them. Obviously, they would save themselves, and they've got a little horde or something. They're working with the kobolds, or maybe the kobolds have captured him. That's kind of a thing in the Sunless Citadel where there's like a little dragon. Spoiler alert: there's a little dragon wormling that you gotta steal for the kobolds, so it's like their pet. Let's see, green dragons. Green dragons are kind of underwatery sort of things. They're amphibious, right? I'm thinking blue because I can have a guard drake here. That's a nice, cool looking portrait for one. I like that, right? Whatever inspires you. Like I like the cool portrait. It's pretty strong. 52 health is a lot, but it doesn't have a breath attack. It does attack twice per round, but I mean, if I really wanted to, I might just change this. I might just change how strong this dragon is. Right? I can do that, and I recommend you do that. If you like something really cool, it's like I want to use a really strong dragon. You know, I want my 5th level characters to fight a dragon, right? That's kind of what I'm aiming for. I want this module to be sort of, maybe not like just 1 to 5, maybe like 1 to 6, 1 to 7 or something. And I'm gonna have them fight, and maybe an adult blue dragon, right? And if I go to, you know, a calculator and sit down and be like, hey, okay, a full 4-man party, 5th level characters, can they fight an adult blue dragon? Can they? Actually, let me go to one of my tabs that has, let's see, there's an encounter calculator. Yeah, so I can put the number of characters 4. I can put the characters level 5. It'll tell me about how much XP each difficulty encounter. I want 1 monster. An adult blue dragon. What's its CR? It is 16. So 16 would absolutely slaughter them, right? So I might need to nerf it in some way. I might need to weaken it, or I might need to use a young blue dragon. This is probably a young blue dragon that I use, right? So if I put 9 in there, CR 9, I calculate this is still a deadly. How close am I to being a hard encounter? I'm actually only 1 off from being a hard encounter, right? So so a young blue dragon, which is probably going to be, I mean, I'll probably change him because he's the big bad enemy of the entire campaign. He's the goal of the party, right? When I make this campaign, I'm going to tell the players, hey, you guys are adventurers here. You've heard that scattered across this mountain are a bunch of dungeons, you know, a bunch of these small little hordes of this dragon, right? And you know, kobold worshippers maybe. And he's got treasure all skewered throughout here. And you're adventurers, and you want to go get that treasure, right? That's the starting. That's the exciting. So you're all adventurers here to do this thing, right? That's the premise for here. You're all here to go fight and collect dragon. And maybe killing the dragon is not one of your goals. Maybe you just want to. Maybe you're all really smart, and you're just like, all right, we never want to fight this dragon. We're gonna do all our best to avoid fighting it, and we're just gonna steal all, like, a ton of, you know, the most, you know, the cool magical items stuff. And maybe that's why we're here, right? Maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe they don't want to fight it, but in case they do fight it, you should make it maybe not possible for them to kill it at 3rd level, right? But, you know, at 5th level, a deadly encounter, right? They could. That's completely reasonable to do, especially if they've got magical items already. I'll probably give magical items in this first dungeon. Nothing super powerful. I might roll on the random table. I might have them roll on the random table. Yeah, yeah, a young blue dragon, right? If I bump them up to the 6th level, that is right. It's a hard encounter, right? This is an easy fight now, right? Because eventually I want these guys. This might be the entire campaign I run, right? Or this might be the first module that I run for these characters. But at some point, you know, maybe they just get to 6th level to 7th level, and there's like, we can just kill the dragon, right? We've seen this dragon before. We've had some skirmish with it, right? That's a little bit more finesse. You run in a fight against a party that can't beat the enemy you're fighting them with, but like they escape it somehow. Like they realize, you know, they're not ready to fight it yet. Maybe they think at 4th level they're ready to fight it, and they go after it, and then they you know that they will probably lose unless they've got some very, very smart plan or some really, you know, like a good magical item that can help them, like a Dragon Slayer or something. Or, you know, just by happen chance, they're 5th level and they go and fight it, and it's things just go bad. They roll bad, bad happen chance. You know, the map, they fight them properly. You know, the dragon has a huge advantage from some other resource. You know, it could just turn out really bad, and you might need to, or I might need to, since I'm going to be the one probably running this. I might need to think, what am I going to do if it turns out really bad for them? Right? Is this dragon going to retreat if he's wounded? Right? Should I build some sort of, you know, cave? Will there be like some sort of cave nearby? Will they fall into another dungeon trying to run away from this dragon? And the dragon won't be able to follow. Is that a good way for me to sort of give them an out for a fight that they can't maybe win, or they're beginning to lose? That's something I got to think about. But I think we're gonna have a young blue dragon, and maybe I won't put a blue dragon, a blue guard drake, right? Maybe I don't want to, since I don't own Volan's Guide. Maybe I don't want to make this NPC, right? This one does seem naturally strong. Let's stick with something. Let me put a brass dragon here. Let me just say, I'm gonna put a brass dragon in here, a brass dragon wormling in this dungeon. It's gonna be down this corridor. So let's build this corridor like I'm building it for a handful of kobolds. And maybe they've captured this dragon. This dragon came here because it wanted to steal or do something, you know, right? These young dragons, maybe they can't even speak common. Maybe they only know Draconic, and maybe your players are going to talk to it. But more likely, this is just going to be a fight for them, right? So let's build. Literally, I'm almost, you know, OCD like gonna drop that train of thought. And down here, do I want to trap down this way? Maybe not. Maybe I don't want to trap. Maybe I have a trap on this side, and that's like a little boss thing. I'm gonna have, there's gonna be an encounter here. Will it be an encounter here? There might be. I think there might be an encounter here. There might be a trap here. I haven't decided yet. Right, I can build this dungeon and decide what's in this room before and after, and make changes. You know, after I build the dungeon, I can always come back and change the map, and we probably will. I probably will come back and change the map. But let's just do this like that, and there'll be a little wormling in here. Let me go back to the door. Already got it searched. Perfect. Door right here. Right here. There might be more doors than is really necessary. Maybe there's no door here. Maybe there's no door. They can already see. Let me delete. How do I get rid of doors and shit again? I'll move it here. Oops, Control Z, not delete that one. Okay, so yeah, hitting delete does get rid of it. It's weird how it didn't work the first time I clicked on it, but it's okay. Now it does. So I've already built one small branching path of this dungeon, and let's work on the small path, right? This is going to be the main path with more kobolds than anything, right? There might be I'm thinking of putting a trap in this room, and then there's this dragon wormling in there. And this way, what do I want in here? What other monsters could I use here? I've already thought of a brass dragon. Maybe do something completely unrelated to dragons. Maybe just some cool dungeon monster, right? Wish I could just clear. Yeah, let's just use monster manual dudes. Monster manual. I know how the alphabet works. Um, spiders are cool. Spiders are smart. Spiders are a typical dungeon monster that is good for low level parties, right? Giant wolf spiders are pretty basic, pretty straightforward. Let's see, I could use this isn't really an undead dungeon. I don't think I'm gonna use undead, right? There's other monsters that are really just beasts that are probably better for using in some other way, right? I could use beetles and stuff, but I do kind of like the idea of spiders, right? So let's see, is there CR2 here? Maybe just a CR1, right? This Dragon Wormling is CR1, I think. The one I was going to use. I might change the color again. I do want to use a CR2, but I think CR1 probably be about as hard as I want a single encounter to be for a first level party. Obviously they can fight CR2. That is no problem. But this the second area here. I think we're gonna have maybe not like a big boss fight. It's just gonna be some odd monsters. Actually, what am I doing? Where I want to be. So maybe I'm thinking in this room, yeah, poisonous snakes. Poisonous snakes are cool. Poisonous snakes can kill players. Because not only do they deal damage, they do 1 piercing damage, but they also have a nice little poison save. If they fail, take 2d4, right? That's dangerous, really strong. So I'm thinking maybe we have some snakes in this room that just fall from the ceiling, right? So it's a trap and an encounter sort of mixed together. And if they walk into the room, right, and they look at the room, they see, nothing, right? They might walk through, say nothing, don't do anything specific, and the snakes just fall. But if they're careful and they're like, this is an odd room, we're going to look around and be like, okay, make a perception check. And maybe they see the snakes as they, fall through the ceiling and they're not surprised, right? How many snakes do I want to use? I don't know. We'll get to that when we actually put the encounters there. But where was it? We wanted to use, or I was kind of inspired to use the wolf spiders. Wolf spider would be giant wolf spider, yes. So how are these? These are 11 health. They're stronger than kobolds. Obviously, they can have webs set up. I could build some cool little webs here. They can climb on surfaces and stuff. They're kind of stealthy too, +7. That's actually really stealthy. So these can be hidden as well. So they can have 2 hidden encounters back to back. And because this I think is good design, right? I make maybe a trivial encounter. Maybe there's 3 snakes that fall out of the ceiling, and maybe it surprises them. It surprises them in this room. Maybe 1 or 2 of them get hit. Maybe more. But right, this already has them thinking, all right, let's be a little careful in at least the next encounter, the next room, right? And as we go into the next room, there's the giant wolf spiders. They're hidden. Maybe I actually make stealth rolls for them. Maybe I just use some sort of passive stealth, like 8 + 7, maybe DC 15. I kind of like to use just a flat stealth thing sometimes instead of rolling for every single monster. But maybe in the moment I'm inclined to use individual stealth, or however many I end up using. But they're probably gonna walk in here and they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, we look around. We want to make sure nothing's falling from the ceiling. I'm like, okay, that's where these spiders are waiting. So maybe I'll give it advantage on the perception check, and they'll all look up, and if any of them succeeds, then none of them will be surprised probably, and they'll fight the spiders in here. They'll find, I think the atypical loot for a spider nest is a skeleton skull or a body with gold teeth in it or something. There'll be some loot in here. We'll get to that in a little bit, but as far as the dungeon is concerned, I'm going to build it very similar to this one here. I think. Again. Do that again. Come on. Why is Control Z not working? I delete this. I don't know if it's me or if Dungeon Painter Studio is not wanting to cooperate sometimes. Let me move you off here. I can't Control Z. It's like I'm not. Oh well. We'll can I delete this through here? I don't know. Dungeon Painter Studio. You do you. Listen, I'll work around it. So yeah, we'll have another, maybe not super long corridor. I'll make it a little different from here. This is where the symmetry dies a little bit. But I'll have it, yeah, maybe this will be a longer room, I think. There'll be some chance for range. Actually, I need longer, yeah, so this will be a longer room. We'll have, should I put a door here? Should I put the door here? There'll just be spider webs across the way. Yeah, I think we'll change it up. We'll make it a little bit different. Let's go back to doors. We want these. I'm gonna put the door here, and there'll be. I'll describe a door being here, but it being broken, right? And they can already see into the webbed room or something, right? And I think we'll do the same here, right? There won't be a door here. They'll just be able to look in here and see, oh, there's nothing here. So maybe that'll surprise them and I'll catch them off guard. There, right? I'm not trying to fool them, really, but I'm trying to fool them, especially if they're experienced players, right? Just like, hey, yeah, you don't always need to be super cautious. Yes, Crips. No, I think it was castles. Was it Crips? Fantasy Fortress. Yes. I think I just go to palette and just use the same old as I used before. And then here, down the main path, right, we were gonna have Wormling here, and have maybe some more kobolds in here. We're gonna have snakes dropped on the ceiling, and then spiders hidden throughout webs in here, right? I'm already working as I build this thing. What encounters I want in here, and I'll think about their size and their difficulty later, right? In a little bit, actually, not too far later, but I want this long corridor. Why do I have this corridor here, right? Why don't I just build the next room, beyond this wall, right? What am I going to use this corridor for? I should think about that, right? Am I going to have a trap in here? I think I'm going to have a trap in here. In fact, I might not have a trap. I might have a pit, right? It's a trap, but it's completely obvious. This might be a 15-foot. I might just put a 15-foot pit here. In fact, I probably need to put it in now if I'm going to put it in here. I'm really liking that, like a 15-foot pit that is, say, yeah, it's 15 foot long, and maybe it's only 10 foot deep, but it's got spikes, right? So you're gonna fall, you're gonna take a d6 from the falling damage, and or maybe you're just gonna take a d10. I'll probably just make it a d10 because you're gonna fall and get hurt, and then there's gonna be spikes. You're also gonna get hurt. I might even make it an attack roll. I might make it an attack roll as well. You're gonna fall 10 feet, and if the spikes at the bottom, beat your armor class, then yeah, I like that. If they beat your armor class, they're going to deal damage. I think that's a good approach, right? And it's going to be 15 foot, so not every player can just automatically jump that, right? So you can, with a running jump, you can jump your strength score, your flat score. So if you have strength 15, you can just make the jump or higher, right? But not everyone in the party is going to have 15 strength, right? There's no that's probably not going to happen, right? So if they just decide, oh yeah, I'm going to try and jump anyway, I'll say, okay, you can try and jump further, but it might be an athletics check, right? It's going to be difficult. The DC will probably be 15 to jump that far because it's 15 foot. That sounds kind of okay. Maybe I can make it easier. It doesn't really matter too much, right? This isn't some super deadly trap either. More likely than not, the players are going to solve this in another way, right? I'm probably just going to have a ladder on the other side that the kobolds use. They put it on the other side, that way that no one can get across without them putting the ladder down. But, and I might, maybe if this is an experienced party I'm running for, I'm going to have kobolds, just 2 archers sitting there that are just going to shoot them. And that's going to be a short combat. But if they're not prepared, right, if they don't have, enough range, they're going to take a bunch of damage before being able to solve this puzzle. Or they can go back and get slings or something from the dead kobolds and figure out all sorts of weird things. That's the cool thing about D&D is there can be a million ways you can run through this dungeon, and it'd be different. And the DM can change it up, and the players can change it up. But I'm gonna have a pit here. How would I make a pit? I'm gonna make a floor. So let's search for spikes. Nope, no spike. We just spike. Pit. No, it doesn't look like a pit. No, maybe I don't have a good round. Maybe it's an object. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Yes, okay, this is what I want. Let me put this, I'm literally gonna put it right there. I'm going to, let's see if I edit it right. Let me go back on that. How big do I want it to be? I'm gonna leave it how it is. I'm gonna, how do I stretch it? How do I stretch it? I know there's ways to change some of these things. I want to stretch it so it's 15 feet. It's a little bit better. If I control, does that do anything? If I alt, does that do anything? Nope. So I can change its custom angle, right? I can flip it normally and stuff. But source tools, nope, that's not it. Z objects, nope, that's not it. See, that's some of the things. Like I had this really cool idea here, and me trying to figure out how to represent that in the map is a little difficult for me. And if I made it a 10-foot pit, that probably wouldn't be a big issue. There's probably someone who doesn't have 10 strength across here, or maybe the players just don't want to jump across, right? Maybe the other side could be slippery or something. I could have a grease on the other side. They don't see that if they don't look for something like that, or maybe they look for it and they don't have high enough perception. Maybe that's another DC 15, a harder skill check for them to make. Yeah, but so I can't represent this easily. I do want to. I want to make this bigger. I do want to make this bigger. Let me edit it so I can make the scale bigger. Yes. Yes. Let me scale it 130, then move it a little bit. How would I do that? Edit. Let's not stick to grid. That's what I need to do. That's what I need to do. That way this is here, and I need to move this down. That's behind, so right. So I think that's a good enough representation. This is the 10-foot pit, right? And I know that the other side is greased. So when a character is like, okay, yeah, I'll just jump across. Right, the other side is greased. Yeah, there's a ladder maybe sitting on the wall up here that they should use, or that the kobolds use, and they maybe can't get. If they have a grappling hook, they can grab it, maybe pull it across, and then just use it like that. Or maybe I don't want to be dastardly and put grease here. Maybe it's a new party or something. It's just a random regular old pit. It's 10 foot deep with spikes and stuff. I'll probably create a custom NPC that is just a spike trap for this to AC if they fall. Right, but I mean, I almost wouldn't expect anyone to take damage from this. At the very most, 2 people take damage from this. But yeah, how would I run this? How would I run this if say a fighter decided I'm going to jump the other side? I can easily do that. I'm like, okay, yeah, you jump and there's grease on the other side. What do? They slip and fall. I make them make a dex save, and maybe I'll make it easy. Maybe it's DC. Maybe it's DC 10. Maybe it's DC 12. DC 12 probably sounds more right. DC 12, and if they fail, they fall into the pit. And if they succeed, they're sort of stuck, hanging on the side here, right? They jumped across. They failed one save, right? They failed one save. Maybe that's a bit too harsh. Maybe failing the save is now they're hanging off the edge here. I think that's fine. I think it's fine. I think you could run it either way. I don't think it's too harsh if I say, okay, yeah, you jumped, you failed the dex save from slipping. Now you fall into the pit or something. That might be a little too harsh. It depends on where they're at. Maybe where I'm thinking sometimes. I could see how that's a little too harsh. How it's maybe not too harsh as well, right? Maybe it depends on the experience of the players. How easy has this dungeon been going for them? Right? Should this just be a more difficult or less difficult pit trap? Who knows? I'll run it however I feel in the situation for how easy this is so far gone for them. right? Maybe this is the first path they've gone down. And it's like, all right, yeah, this is just an easy pit. No, they're likely going to solve this some other way. But if they don't, they just try and jump across. Yeah, it's got grease. They land or they fall, and they either fall if they succeed on the diff, save forward and are fine, and then they see the grease, or they fail and fall in. That's fine. I've been rambling enough about this little encounter, right? And this isn't hidden. I could hide this, but this I'm not gonna hide this. Not a first level dungeon like this. Not a simple D10 of damage trap here. Let's see, in the next room, yeah, I'm gonna put another double door here. I'm actually gonna do that right now. And let me stick to grid again. Good. This. Yeah, I think that's fairly good for a little starter dungeon to have main room, the initial encounter, and then for each branching path, which will have different loot. They don't have to do them all if they don't want to. They probably will. This is D&D. Players totally going to want to go down every quarter, but have one little small encounter and then a bigger encounter, small encounter and bigger encounter. And if they want to have a short rest between each of these, that's fine. If they want to take a long rest, however, I'll probably have them encounter something. If they want to try and long rest inside here, kobolds are definitely going to be coming in and out of here within 8 hours, right? They're not just in this dungeon doing nothing, twiddling their thumbs, right? Kobolds are coming in and out. They might come from the doors up here, they might come from down here, but they can't stay in this dungeon and take a long rest. An hour, they're fine. I probably won't even make them roll for an encounter. I might. They're an experienced dungeon group. They cleared out a lot of this, but I think this is where we've got a bigger open room. Like that. How many? 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 here. This is a fairly big room, good enough for a nice big kobold encounter. I'll have like a big, maybe chief kobold or whatever I want to call him, sit on top of like a chest or something. They've got some knickknacks up here. Maybe this is a bigger treasure room than these other two because this is maybe a harder encounter. Maybe it's not. We'll see. We'll see how I build the encounter, but this is just a room. And I mean, the dungeon's kind of done. The dungeon's kind of done here. Do I want to have any secret doors? Do I want to have any secret passageways, right? Because this is where I would put them in. I think I do. I think I want some sort of secret, maybe I think I'm going to put a painting up on the wall, right? This isn't something I'm going to put on the map, right? I'm going to describe the room to them. There's a huge paint on the wall. And, a good perception check will realize, hey, yeah, this painting is loose and behind it is, another room. There's going to be like another little like extra like chest behind it, or there's a hole behind some broken dresser or something that we can put in here. And they get another extra little chest of loot, maybe another little roll on the magic item table for them. And whoever found it, I'm going to let them roll a D100, and I'll let them have, some little trinket. Maybe it'll be like a potion or something small, consumable. Not, obviously like a +1 sword or something, first level party. It wouldn't be bad if they had that. But it also, it might be something I give in this dungeon. It might be something they get, but nothing more powerful than uncommon. And more likely I'll just hand out some common healing potions that the kobold should have stored somewhere. Where do I want it? If it's just a little alcove, then I probably don't have to do anything with the map at all. So now, I think what I want to do is, hold on, something's bugging my arm here. What is that? Okay. Sorry, so now what I want to do, I kind of want to make this dungeon look a little better, right? This looks kind of crappy, right? Right, for one, the walls already match the floor quite a bit. Let me try and delete this actually now. Can I do that? Yes, perfect. All right, so the floor. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to get a new floor, a floor that actually. A lot of floors there. White looks kind of okay. That would work. make this exactly as big as the dungeon. All right, I made it there. Yeah, it's covering the dungeon right now, but I'm just gonna drag it down here. Is there any way to right click and just drop it to the bottom? Like it. But I do want it at the exact bottom of the map, and there we go. See, that looks a little bit better. At least a little bit better. It doesn't look perfect, obviously, but that looks better. I like that because I can clearly see the outlines of everything here. Plus the furniture and stuff I'm gonna put here. Do I want to do a whole lot of furniture? Probably not. What do the kobolds have in here? It's probably just some ramshackle little camp stuff. Let's see if I just search camp. What's all here in the camp? Ooh, cool. We got some nice little fires and stuff. There's some actual camps. I don't know what these PNGs are. But yeah, there's a little campfire. I think I'm gonna put down. How big is this? This is a little big. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Kobolds are small people. Let's not stick to grid either for this. Let's make this a little smaller too. 80 sits on here, and I would put a pig on here, but I'm not gonna do that here. It's a little campfire. Let's see. Sleeping roll, kind of a sleeping bag. Okay, let's actually go back and search through. None of this stuff looks great. We'll come back to these webs. Actually, no. I see the webs now. I'm gonna put the webs in. Okay, big web here. Let me make sure this is kind of showing on the wall there. Big web there. Let me search for a web. There's got to be more. Yeah, okay, so I can use many more of these. This is a big web hanging there. There's a big web here. And again, this doesn't look all that great. I know it's not great, but this is just to sort of show. Yeah, let me actually put like a web just right up front here. Just covering the little front here. A big web, and there's other webs here, and I don't have to cover the whole thing with webs. All right, this doesn't look all super great or whatever, but you know, just so they know as they're coming here, hey, there's fucking spiders here. Listen, they see webs and they know that spiders are here. Perfect. All right, it doesn't need to take any more complicated thought than that. The stairs kit, no, don't need that. Table decor, no. Trees. This is all in Dragonville. See, crypts. I'm in tokens here, right? These are all walls. These are all walls for crypts. Dungeons, dungeon props. That sounds like I could have props for a dungeon that I'm building. Barrels, yeah, that's nice. Okay, it's literally just a bunch of boxes and crates. Okay, beds. These are actually beds. These aren't like. These are barrels and crates. Torches. Do I want this place to be lit? I think I want this place to be lit. Right, let me go back. Our kobolds. Nope, I don't want that. Is that what I hit the question mark? Kobolds. I can search. Always up there, okay. Kobolds, they have dark vision? They don't. They actually have sunlight sensitivity. So they can't see in the dark, so they probably have torches all throughout here. Let me put some little torches up. And I have like one here. I'm gonna put one here. Right, and then maybe there's one in this room. We turn it 90 degrees. One here. One here. Right, and if you don't want to put, it's probably not the most important thing that you put torches up on your app, right? I just want it to look a little lively here. Or actually put these torches, see right there, right before here, just so you know, it looks like it fits in. And do I want torches in these other rooms? No, these I think maybe these will be dark rooms. Yeah, they'll have to light their own torches. And then this one will have a torch on it. We'll put it here. Right. I'm not some big super good artist. I'm actually really bad at artists and stuff, so 2 dungeons, walls and doors. There's a lot of stuff in there. Fantasy Fortress. I'm just discovering all the other basic mods that I found and used for this. Dragonville. Nope. We're already in Dragonville. Let's go to castles, accessories. Ooh, okay, this might have some nice stuff. Okay, yes, haystack. That. Want a haystack? Did sound good at first, but now I'm kind of like, like a hay little mat for them to sleep on. That sounds kind of cool, but walls, towers. Okay, not castles. Nope, nothing there. Dungeon props. We just went through that. Dungeons V2. That's again the same thing. We already went through the textures. Nope. Fantasy Fortress. Some old school things. Technology. I could have swore. Is it in 2 minutes? Okay, yeah. This has got some stuff. Okay. This is some better dungeon stuff. Wall spikes, camp tokens. This is what I want. Little tree with shade. Oh, this stuff looks really, really nice. If I build this here, they've got little, again, little. I want them to be little. Little sleeping bags, a tiny little, and tiny. A little backpack sitting here. Bucket, again, tiny. What furniture might they have in here? Is there going to be a chair? There might be little barrels in here. Some crates over here. It's probably going to have cheese in them because kobolds love cheese. That's not strictly true for regular D&D, but it's true for all my settings. That's what kobolds like. They love cheese. I don't even know what that is. That just looks like it might fit here. They don't have siege weapon, cave tunnels, dungeon builder, other things. Yeah, as I get more experience with Dungeon Painter Studio, maybe do some more stuff. Let's see. What would I have in here? Right, I'm not gonna put a big pile of gold or something in here. Minute tabletop 2. And at camp stuff. I like that. We'll save some of this stuff for the upper part. Sewer treasure. Okay, treasure. Okay, so what do I want to maybe have some stuff that's literally some of the treasure that's lying around here. I think a chest. We're just gonna have a chest here. There will just be a chest. Do I want gems? Maybe we'll give some gems early on, right? Is there a small little? There's no big piles of gold, maybe, but there's some some gold pieces strewn about. Yeah, we'll do that. Where's that in this? Let's put you down close to the bottom. So you're under the chest at least. So they can see it. Oh yeah, there's probably some gold in this chest, and that chest is probably locked because I think maybe we put a weapon just like stuck into the wall over here. Actually sounds cool. I literally just saw this. Now there's a sword stuck on the wall. I just got inspired. Gold. You know, that's probably fine. I could do more here. I'm not a great artist, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's see, is there anything in this room? Go back to the first one. I think there were some like chairs and tables and stuff. Cave room builder. That just builds. Builder, roads of a tavern. Nope. Nope. I think we're just at camp tokens again. Let's put a pile of firewood in here. Wall. Kobolds maybe use this for a storage area here. There's like a little bench in here as well. Is there a little tent? There's probably a little tent. Let's make a little tiny little tent for one of them. One or two, maybe not that tiny. That looks right. Maybe there's some kobolds sleeping in here, and the players, if they're stealthing this way, have a chance to kill them in here. That sounds good to me. All right, and then in this room, there's nothing. There's maybe some moss in here. Let's see, can I search for moss? There's nothing. Nothing at all. Okay, so maybe so I've got webs in here. That's fine. This is gonna be an empty room. It's got snakes that fall from the ceiling. Maybe this is just unfurnished. I mean, it's sparse, yeah, but it looks like it's got a little bit of life. It looks like I put a little bit of effort. When in fact I put over an hour into this dungeon already. I guess really the campaign, but what else is super important here? So do I want a little chair? Do I want a little throne or something? Furniture. Let's go to castle furniture. And tokens, yes. We'll put a box in the corner here. I'm not gonna put like a thing of armor. Let's put, yeah, there's like maybe there's a little rug here. Leads up to Where's it lead up to? Where's the chairs in here? Where are the chairs? There's gotta be a chair in here somewhere, right? Oh yeah. Here's a chair. It's just a shitty wooden chair. That's all it is, the shitty wooden chair. And there's a kobold that's sitting on it. That's what's happening. That's what's happening here. Are there barrels already used somewhere? No, there's some barrels here in this corner, right? So it looks like the kobolds live here. Is there a ladder? I search for ladder. Yes, there is. So I'm remembering that I'm literally gonna have a ladder right there. I'm literally gonna put a ladder right here. Saber Crunch, yeah, thanks for the follow. Hello, streamer. All right, I don't super consider myself a streamer, but no, I'm gonna put a ladder right there. I appreciate the follow. I'm glad this looks cool to someone. All right, so there's a ladder here. They will explicitly see without me having to explain it. There's a ladder on the other side here, and either one person has to jump across and grab it, or maybe they're smart and they try and grappling hook it, and they notice the grease or something. The icons I'm using in the map, these tokens, let's see. We'll just explain that super easy. In Dungeon Painter Studio, I actually subscribe to a handful of mods. But let me actually show which ones, some subscriptions. Let's see, Catacombs, Caves. I think most of them are from, show all of them. I think most of these, let's see, I'm using these. Castle Furniture. Yeah, one of these castle ones. Nope, that's Fantasy Grounds again. Dungeon Props, Dungeons. So yeah, I just looked for some of these cool looking workshop items. I was like, oh yeah, caves look cool. 2-minute tabletop, that looks cool. Castle scripts. Just pick some, subscribe to some, and then yeah, some of these look really cool. So yeah, this is from 2-minute tabletop. All of these look really cool. What am I making the map for specifically? I am making it for a campaign. I mean, just actually more specifically, I just want to stream me making something. I might use it for a campaign that I run, but it's a new campaign I'm just going to be building. And this is the first dungeon for it. And I guess just to walk through this really quickly, this is going to be the first level dungeon full of mostly kobolds. I think I'm going to have some kobolds here in the main room here. And I'm going to have like some wormling dragon here, right? I think I'm going to put I think it was wolf spiders I decided over here, and then some poisonous snakes are going to fall from the ceiling in here. A little trap pit here, and then the rest of the kobolds up here. I use Fantasy Grounds. How long have I been using it? I've been playing Fantasy Grounds, I want to say, almost a year and a half, if not 2 now. I was on Roll20 for... I'm still on Roll20 technically, but I don't run too much there. I'm slowly switching to Fantasy Grounds as I get more experience with it. because it's better for experienced players, I think. Fantasy, I think Roll20 is good for new players because it's free for one, but it also teaches new players how to like manually do a lot of the stuff that Fantasy Grounds automates. Yeah, I host games with Fantasy Grounds. Let's see. What else do I want in here? What else looks cool? Want a bed? Maybe I actually want a physical bed that looks maybe almost normal size in the corner here. Yeah, and then under the bed maybe there's some loot. Bench, a dresser thing here. Let's turn this a little bit. Put it maybe in the back here, and then maybe a table or something. No, let's do a regular old chest right behind here. Yeah. And then what else do I want to put in here? Clutter and stuff. I don't want a suit of armor because the player is going to ask me, hey, that's plate mail. I want plate mail. I don't think we're going to do that. Camp tokens. I mean, this is probably good enough for this room. I don't think there's anything special. I just need a little bit of sparse stuff. Just scattered around in here. Nothing super special. So let's export this. And let's see what Fantasy Grounds should give a really good, let's see, don't transparent background. No, I don't want coordinates, so grid. Yes. Yeah, we'll just create, I think it's JPEGs. No, PNGs I think are fine for Fantasy Grounds. So let's make this up, get this put into Fantasy Grounds real quick. Open the folder for it. Assume they're in 5th edition. Yes, I do in 5th edition. It's the only one I've run. I've run for about, I want to say 4-ish years. I'm running games. Perfect. Now I will save it to my maps. This is one that I made, so I'll put it there. And then let's minimize this. So this is where all the maps and images for this module are in this folder. I'm gonna go to D&D. Got my map saved. I'm going to my maps. I just saved it as a random name. Let's actually rename that to, I don't know, Kobold Dungeon. There. And I only capitalize the dungeon. Perfect. I'm gonna copy that, put that in. Actually, close that. I'm gonna go back actually. Put it right there, and then that should populate right here. I can open this up. Bam. That is great. All right, make that smaller, actually. Let's make this smaller. Let me lock this up real quick. And then, well, before I forget, let me put the mask on. Yep, and then players will only see this bit first. All right, yeah, so that's what they're going to enter in here. They're going to fight some initial kobolds. Let's see, last thing I need to do, let's set the grid, which is fairly easy with a nice 102, is that right? No, I think it's a little big. I think 100 is probably what I need. Set grid. Is that right? Yes, 100 pixels, perfect. So this is my first one. This is the first dungeon that I'm gonna have for this campaign. And I don't think I've done some streaming of me building stuff before, but I don't know. I'm probably building this just to stream. I'm probably streaming this to build the entire campaign on stream, more or less. I mean, obviously, if I run this, there will definitely be changes, of course, as things come up. But yeah, homebrew campaign. Yeah, I'm not building this for any of the modules and stuff. I mostly do homebrew stuff. Actually, I've only done homebrew campaigns and stuff, which I like. I think this is actually good. So what we need to do, I'm actually gonna pop that to the background so I can have that in the back. And let's see. Let's build some encounters. So I'm gonna make some new encounters, the uncategorized thing. Let's have the what are we gonna call this? This is the first encounter. This will probably be the first encounter party entirely. And it'll be in this first room here. So I'll have them all be, I'll probably have the PCs all in here. There'll be some kobolds in here. And how many kobolds do we want? I think I want, grab some NPCs. Let's grab some kobolds and put them in just like that. I'm gonna have one kobold for every PC in this encounter. And it's not worth a whole lot of experience. But yeah, that's just in case this is like for new players, even experienced players. Like I could have more if I really wanted to. 4 kobolds is not really a super dangerous encounter for first level parties at all. So it's just a good, palate cleanser to sort of get them into the swing of things. I think it's dungeon builder. So yeah, we're gonna have 4 kobolds here. Obviously, I'm not gonna place them yet, but this is just the first encounter that we're gonna have, and that's gonna be for this room. Let's see, I'm gonna have some more kobolds in here. I think we're gonna put 3 into this here. So I'm gonna make another encounter. Let's call it, I don't know how to spell, FT, left corner. I'm gonna have, again, just some more kobolds. I think we're just gonna have 3 in here. These ones might be sleeping in here. Now, this all might not be enough experience, this whole dungeon. I'll try and make this enough experience to be perfectly what a 4-man party would need for getting from first to second level. But I mean, if they level up midway through the dungeon, that's probably fine as well. But I definitely want them to be at least second level at the end of this dungeon. So I might mess with the XP, give them extra XP, or just like an extra XP for finishing this as like its own little quest and give them whatever else they need. I might do that as well. Yeah, left corner, that's good. Just sort of organize these. Like I could close them out. I'm probably done. We'll have 3 kobolds here as they come in. And if they're sneaky, they can probably just fight them really easily. But now, is that not how? Oh, I have the CR thing, duh. So I need a dragon wormling. So I want the CR1 ones, which is probably just, what was it? Let's see if I pull up counter calculator, if I pull up this again. Yep. If I pull these up, so just the brass and the copper dragon. Which one do I want to use? So one's got fire breath, one's got acid breath. I like the sleep breath better. So let's grab a brass dragon wormling. Or I'll let the brass wormling, perfect. And then I just drag it in here, and it's going to be going in here, right? That's worth more experience. So this is like a little boss room. It's going to have some loot in here. I'll do the loot in a little bit once we get all the encounters made. Let's see. Let's go right corner. We're putting snakes in here. Let's see. Right corner. All right, and we've got snake. We just want not giant poison snake, just regular poison snakes. Grab these, put them in the right corner. Ooh, these not from the monster menu. I might need to grab a token for poisonous snakes. In fact, I think I do. Let's go to snake, poison snake. So yeah, 5e tools has a nice little token that works great. So I'm gonna actually use that. Let me minimize this. Drags to the desktop. I'm gonna make a little, save it there, and I'm gonna go to token stamp. No, I don't need token stamp. I'm not playing Roll20. This is not Roll20. I don't need this. What I need to do is I need to first copy poisonous snake. Okay. And then I need to unlock it. And I need to give it a token. So I go to tokens. See monster tokens, yes. See if I open it up by hitting GM, right? Yep. And I need to drag poison snake that I got from there right here. Does that work? Seems not to. I've had issues with this before transferring these. I think it's because this is maybe Web MP. Yeah, okay, so I need to drag this back, and I do need to go to Dungeon Stamp or Token Stamp and make a token. Yep, I'm just gonna drag this in here. It's gonna look exactly the same, but this is the easiest way that I know about. There's probably an easier way to do this. Download this. Yep, I got it right there. I will leave that on the right. Let's go to downloads. I will. Yep. Poison snake. I will cut, back, paste. All right, and now it should be in here. Yes, it's right here. I will put it right there. Done. Poison snake has a token now. I will remove this one specifically and take these one. This one right here. There will be, I don't know, three of these, because they're probably going to surprise them. Probably going to surprise them when they drop in. The ceiling over here, just on top here. They might not, but so let me experience for them. All right, and this is starting to get cluttered. So let me close all these out now. Probably should have given myself a little bit more room to scroll to the right. Maybe another square or so when I make the maps, but I'm still learning. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning this. And then we got a new encounter we'll call the Spider Den. And we want the wolf spiders. Search wolf. Giant wolf spider, yes. Which also don't have a token. We're going to have to do the exact same thing for this. It's a little boring and tedious, but giant wolf spider. I'm going to drag it out here. I can do it faster now that I know what I'm doing. Download, yes. Okay. Copy. Copy name. Tokens. You can open this up. Downloads. Name. Wolf spider. Cut. Back and paste. So this is starting to fill up. There's probably a smarter and better way for me to do this. Yeah, I'm going through it pretty fast, or pretty fast. I'm even talking super fast and messing up. Let's see, yeah, we'll take this out. I'm glad you're learning stuff. I hope I'm not going too fast. How many spiders are in here? I don't know. It's 2. How much is 2? 2 is not a lot. So 3. No, actually put 4. 34. 34 sounds great. Yeah, we'll do that. No, okay. So yeah. During XP, spider den in there. Perfect. All right. So these are all uncategorized now, but up. And let's say that only one encounter left. I've got one encounter left. I've got I don't want to call it a throne room. I don't really think this is really great as a throne room. Right, there's gonna be like a kobold chief. He's probably just like a sorcerer. I'm probably just gonna like give him a handful of spells and some extra health. But I think, what do I want to call it? I don't know, just boss room. I don't know, end room. Doesn't really matter what we call it, but it's nice for like if you're coding something. Obviously, you want to notation everything so it's understandable. End room. Okay, and then what do we all want in here? I think I want only kobolds. Let's see, so we got regular kobolds. I'm probably gonna put, I don't know, 5 of these dudes in here. Yeah, this is gonna be the toughest fight. It's gonna be the toughest fight. And then I'm gonna make a copy just by dragging and dropping like that. And this isn't gonna be your typical looking kobold didgeridoo. This is gonna be kobold Porsche. Let me capitalize this. Sorcerer. Kobold sorcerer. And let me get another token. Well, first let me see if there's a Let me reset all this. Because there's probably a kobold token here that I will like and take. Kobold commoner. What does the normal one look like? It looks like that. Okay, so I just want to make sure I don't pick that one. I mean, none of these are screaming to me sorcerer. The scale sorcerer, actually, that screams to me sorcerer. So we're gonna take that. Let's see, that's a PNG. Okay, so I might be able to actually put this in here directly. Let's try it. See if it shows up. Did it show up? I think it did. Yes, it did. All right, we can just drag that right there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Maybe not perfect, but it's good enough. And then a couple of sorcerers going right in here. Actually, let's unlock this because we're gonna be changing. We're gonna be changing the monster. We're changing this boy. He's gonna have, I don't know, 20 health actually. That sounds great. That's gonna change his CR too, and he's gonna have, I don't know, 13 AC because maybe he knows Mage Armor or something and has that cast beforehand. He's probably CR 1/2. Right, so that's what, 50 EXP for CR 1/2. It's probably not. Maybe I'm messing that up. But we'll give him the normal stuff, Sunlight Sensitivity, Pack Tactics, and all. But let's grab some spells for him. Let's go to spells. Perfect. And I'm gonna grab some level 1 spells for him. I think Burning Hands from the Player's Handbook. That sounds cool. He might use that. Command, that could be cool. I'm just picking first level spells, nothing crazy. No healing. I don't think he's gonna heal his buddies. Nothing like he's gonna get in the fight. He's probably got Mage Armor. Magic Missile. Want Magic Missile? I probably won't use Magic Missile. That's kind of straightforward. I'm not gonna use Shield because you probably only have 3 spell slots. Let me mark that down now so I don't forget. Sleep I think is nice. Sleep is cool. Yeah, and that sounds great. That sounds like more than enough spells for this guy to have. So like a nice little kobold sorcerer who's leading a small pack of kobolds to have. So yeah, that looks cool. So we made a kobold sorcerer. We're using the regular normal kobolds, and we've got let me. All right. So yeah, we've got a handful of encounters. Let's see, how do I categorize an encounter? I actually don't know how to do that with fantasy rounds. If I unlock it, right, that doesn't give me some weird option. Categorize these. It's probably just from, probably if you just add a module or something. Because I've done that before. I've made a module that I've transferred to another campaign. But so we've got all these encounters, and let's see, how would I put them? So it's probably not the right way to do that. That's what I want to grab, right? Yeah, obviously there's a better way to do that with the combat tracker when you're actually using them. But I think, all right, the brass dragon is going to be there. The end room is they're all going to be. Actually, no, I'm just not going to place. I'm not going to place them at all. We're going to have the starting room, which is the first encounter. There's going to be 4 kobolds. There's going to be as many kobolds as there are PCs in this first room. That's going to be their introduction. And in the second room, there's going to be, let's see, left corner, there's going to be 3 kobolds, and one of them probably going to be sleeping in here. Going to be surprised, right? Unless they make a bunch of noise coming through here. I'm going to ask them probably for a stealth roll as I'm coming through here. And they're probably going to fail if they weren't intentionally trying to be sneaky or something. But they'll probably kill them easy, and then the wormling might be a tougher fight. Then we've got the right corner, in case they go down there. They're probably going to go through all these. But poison snakes are going to fall from the ceiling. I think I'm going to make that a DC 15 perception check. Or it's just going to surprise them if they're not being perceptive, right? There's just holes in the ceiling. And if they roll perception 10, between 10 and 15, as long like 10 and 14, anywhere between there, I'll be like, yeah, there's like some crevices in the ceiling, like small, something like a rat might fit through. Maybe not say poison snake. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll just describe the room like it's normal. But if they roll higher than 15, I'll say like, oh yeah, they see like the tail of a snake pointing out. And I mean, it's up to them to figure out how they want to navigate this. I mean, they definitely won't be surprised at that point when the snakes fall on them if they just walk through. But they could also, I don't know, fill the holes with something, try and burn them out, or scare them away in some way. They'll solve it, or they'll fight it. That's how the party will handle it. And then these will be the wolf spiders in the spider den. I think 4 of them sound pretty good, right? They don't have a whole lot of hit points. You just got bite. They deal a lot of damage, so maybe 4 is not a good number. Maybe 3 is better. I might change that. I'll just make it 3 for now, because I'm kind of worried about how much poison damage it does. Like 7 damage to a first level character is a lot of damage. That knocks quite a few people unconscious, quite a few classes, right? I mean, they might have 2 fighters, a paladin and a barbarian, right, and just wade through this dungeon easily because they just have tons of health. But I mean, I might bump it up to 4 just in case they're having a really easy time, or maybe this is the first leg they go down, right? And then the end room, obviously, we've got the Kobold Sorcerer, he's got some extra hit points. He's otherwise a normal Kobold. He's got some extra hit points, a little higher armor class, and some spells, right? He's got Burning Hands in case that's useful, right? He's got Command in case he wants to just make someone make a saving throw. Mage Armor to justify his higher AC. And what was the last one? Sleep, because sleep is cool as well. Sleep can knock someone unconscious, and that's cool, right? Make the other players try and wake them up. And I think that's a pretty good starting dungeon. I guess what I need to do now, actually, let me leave that up. So let's see, that's 200. The end room, I think I'm just gonna make it worth 200. I think because there's more enemies here, I should probably make this worth more, because in 5th edition, it's really important. So let's say I have a CR1 monster, right? A single CR1 monster is worth 200 experience total. But if I have 5 of them, right, it's a group, and now they're worth more. They're worth more experience because groups of monsters should be worth more experience because they're harder to fight, right? The action economy is beneficial if you outnumber your opponents, right? So if I have more enemies, I should give them more experience, right? That's why the Brass Dragon Wormling, right? It's a tough character. It's a tough NPC, right? It's only got 16 hit points, so I'll probably kill it quick. They might just walk in, crit it, and kill it in one blow. But I mean, I'm gonna try and get my fire breath off, and that's gonna be the main danger here, or my sleep breath. But it's just one creature, right? It's more deadly to a single character because it deals more damage from its breath. It can also AoE because it's a dragon. Dragons are fucking badass like that. But yeah, it's gonna be one big tough character. But these guys, while they're all mostly weaker, they also have way more hit points than the Brass Dragon, and they've got spells, just more action economy in general. So I think I'll actually make this like 300 experience, not 3,300. There we go. And the Brass Dragon Room is probably fine. The Spider Den, I might make that 250. Just for no reason. I mean, I kind of just like round numbers in general. The first encounter is 100. The left corner is less because it's just less kobolds. Yeah, it looks about right. I should have left all these open. Because what I was gonna do is, yeah, for, let's see, 4 first level characters, right? They would get 4 first level characters. So second level is what I want them to reach by the end of this dungeon. And I think it's fine if they reach second level before that. They leave and they've got enough experience after a rest. And they can level up and come back in, and then they'll easily beat the rest of the dungeon. But I definitely want them to finish this dungeon and then be level 2. So they all need at least 300 experience, right? Now, if I've got a 4-man party, like I typically expect, that's what I think I should build around. They will have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. They will get a total of, let me do math on stream. Let's see, 500, 750, 850 plus another 150, which is 1,000 experience total, just from the encounters alone. There's 4 of them that gives them 200 experience short from being 3rd level, because 4 characters, you each need 300 experience to get to 2nd level. So 300 times 4 is 1,200. So this is only 1,000 here total, which is fine. So what I think I'm going to do is literally just make a quest to give them more experience. Let's see, what do I call this quest? Let the kobold dungeon. And this is CR1, and I'm going to give them 300 experience for doing this. And I might literally show them this. Like I started a game like this is the opening dungeon. This is why all the characters are here. This is the first thing you guys went and did when you came to the mountain, right? I think I'm gonna call the entire campaign. I think I named it the Dragon of Argon Mountain or something, which is gonna be, hopefully it's gonna be like 1 to 6, 1 to 7th level. And this dungeon here is just part of that. That's gonna get them to 2nd level. And I think the premise for me to like tell them before, I'm like, okay, here's the premise for this entire campaign. There's a big dragon, and he lives in this mountain, and he's got hordes stashed around everywhere. Some of it is like guarded by all sorts of different dungeons and monsters, right? There's a couple towns nearby that they'll be able to work around and, you know, sort of live out of. But they're all here for this dragon's hoard and treasure and stuff, right? They're all adventurers looking for this. And I'm just going to put them in this first dungeon as their first, you know, thing. And tell them, okay, yeah, you're here. You've heard of this dungeon. You know where it's at. You found it. And you're here because you heard there's a kobold sorcerer that's got some of the dragon's treasure. So defeat the kobold sorcerer. I don't know how to spell. And take his loot. Right, and then that's the quest I'm going to give them, like right at the start. That's why they're here. This is the premise that they're going to start out with, and then once they finish, once they're like, all right, we're done with this dungeon, we're not coming back. I'm like, okay, here's the last 300 experience. You're all level 2, right? Whenever I hand that out, and I think that is, yeah, is that all I need to do? Is that easy? I've been streaming for an hour and a half, and I just made a dungeon. I was thinking it was going to take about 2-ish hours. I think I got done a little quick. I could have done more work on the map and stuff, but this is it. I think this is pretty good for me just sitting down an hour and a half and throwing something together. Right? This is if I had to play tomorrow, right? I'm really proud that I just sat down and made what is an entire first session. Right? This should take even an experienced party. This should take them an entire 4 hours to get through probably. And if it doesn't, I mean, they could maybe speed run this, but I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This trap is an encounter in and of itself. 6, so 6 encounters. This is probably like a 2-session little dungeon here. Unless they literally just want to beeline, get in here, kill him, and then leave, but then they want an experience to be level 2, right? And I mean, no adventuring party will go through and only check one of these doors in the first room. They're all going to go through. They're probably going to do everything. I can't imagine any adventuring party that wouldn't do that. So yeah, let's just go through. Let's go through. Okay, I'm not done. Yes, I'm not done. I have parcels. I have loot that I need to put down. I may ask them to roll for some of this loot. Is there going to be any loot in the starting room? Maybe. Whoever gets the last kill, I might have them roll me a D100. Let's go to, are the tables here? Yeah, I think 5e Tools has tables. I'm looking for, yes. Is the loot? No. I want the tables. It might be in loot generator. Yeah, loot tables, okay. want to view. I want Xanathars. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, that is a big unknown. Adjustable stilts. Leasing clause, right? Through like armor. Here's all some weird stuff. I'm just looking through here. Tier minor, beat of nourishment. Okay, this looks cool. I might use this. Yeah, whoever in this first starting room here, maybe what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask them, hey, roll me a D100. Whoever got the last kill, whoever got the final kill, got to describe that kill. I'm just like, hey, you got the last kill. Roll me a D100. And what I would do is like, okay, they would roll a D100. I have to. Here's a command. Slash die. D100. Is that it? Yes. They would roll. Let's so they roll say a 27, and I would go to this table. I would go to 27 first and be like pole of angling. Transform to a fishing pole with a hook and a line. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool. You have this item now. And this is the pole of angling. And I don't own Xanathar's Guide. It's not a module that I have loaded. But what I would do is I would just make an item real quick. So let me open up items. And I would create item. Angling. Pole of angling. And then I would just go back. See 27 pole of angling. I need to click on it to copy the thing while holding this rod. I would just literally copy and paste this item, and then I could fill this other stuff as well. Maybe not now, but maybe later. I was like, okay, yeah, and I would just okay, yeah, you found a pole of angling, and then I would just take it and then drop it right into the party inventory right here, and for whoever who wanted that to take it. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think that's gonna work out really well. And eat it, so it's not sitting there. But I think that's what I'm gonna do for this first room. The second room, I don't think it's gonna have anything super special. I think I might throw some. Would I do the same thing? Maybe I just do the exact same thing. Let me go back. Gotta do this again. Xanathars. Common. I mean, there's some really cool stuff in Xanathars that is just, it's not really super mercenary. Like if they rolled an 83 and they like cast off plate armor, I'd be like, well, plate armor, I probably wouldn't give them that. So I think like plate armor just for free, like 1,500 gold worth of something, and just get for free. They probably don't have that. I would probably give them maybe not padded armor, because padded armor is kind of boring, even though you have to cool cast off. I might give that to them because it's cast off. You can remove it really quickly, and it's probably worth more than regular padded armor, but I would probably go to something else like, okay, I'll give them a moon-touched rapier. Maybe none of them can use finesse weapons. Maybe none of them are rogues. None of them are bards that want to use a rapier. But I'll give it to them. It's like, hey, it's not like a +1 weapon, but it does magical damage. And it does magical damage, and if no one wants to use it, it's just loot to have and sell, right? I could do that. Are there any other cool tables here? Are they ready? Band of Loyalty. Reduces 0 hit points by 200 metal, you instantly die. Yeah, some of these are really cool. Coin of Delving. Copper coin shines light in a 5-foot radius. If dropped the distance greater than 5 point, the coin issues melodious ringing sound. These, I'm just reading cool stuff. Spell shard. What does this do? There's all sorts of cool stuff. It's from Eberron. Spell right tattoo. Imbued what? These are just cool stuff I've never even heard of before. Looking through some of the Xanathar's tables. I might use them. I might roll like a couple, I might have them roll. Hey, yeah, roll me 3d6, and you find 100. You find 15 gold spewed through some of these things here. But let's see. For the loot here, I put a sword on the wall, so that means I should probably give them a sword. So if they walk over and pick the sword out of the wall, like it'll probably be a DC 15 strength check. Strength check, I would say. Pull the sword from the wall, and maybe they use that to kill the dragon. Maybe they do that. And this is probably a moon touch sword. So Moon Touch Sword, which is just it's either a short sword or a long sword. I can decide, or maybe even a great sword, depending on what PCs. I probably want this to be a usable sword. Probably someone in the party uses a sword. But a Moon Touch Sword is not like a +1 weapon. It's not something crazy. It's just a sword or a weapon that does magical damage, which is really good for getting past resistances of a lot of enemies. So it doesn't give you a +1 to hit, doesn't give you a +1 damage, it's just magical, which can be more damage, of course, if there's an enemy, which none of them in here are resistant to non-magical damage. Sword, but it's a nice weapon to have. It gives them a magical weapon that doesn't make them hit anything easier, doesn't make them damage anything easier, except stuff that's resistant to magical, which I might throw in the next dungeon or the next encounters or something. But that's there, and then we have this chest, which I think is just going to be full of gold. And whoever gets the kill, I think I'm going to have them roll on the table. It's going to have gold, probably something like I'm going to have them roll, I don't know, 3d10. And it's going to have 160 gold in it. I'm just going to have them roll 3d10, multiply by 10, and it's got 160 gold. On top of like one more, like something else. So let's go back to tables here. Actually, I think there's tables here. Yeah, tables. PHB doesn't have the magic item tables. It's just easier for me to grab it from 5e tools from the loot generator. So I'm with DMG tables and magic item table. Yeah, I'm just gonna have them roll a D100, and they're gonna roll in here. So they'll roll. Let's see, /die D100, and they roll a 67. So that means they would get, along with the gold in there, they would find a first level spell scroll. No, 67. They would find a potion of climbing, something that they might just sell. Might not be super helpful. It might, maybe that's a good idea for me to, build some sort of puzzle that being able to climb walls and something would be really helpful with. Maybe I do that. Let's see, that's loot there, right? I could just do it all beforehand. You can literally just put items in parcels and then build them out in Fantasy Grounds if you want to. I think I'm gonna have more random loot in here. I might make one parcel for some loot in here. I might specifically give them stuff. Maybe not today, but once I know what the party is, right? I might make at least one item like cool, useful. They've already got the sword, I guess. So maybe that's the big magical item that they get out of this dungeon, and everything else is random. So the snake room, I don't think they'll find anything. Maybe if they have someone who's interested in alchemy supplies, maybe there's some like fungus or something they find in here if that's loot in this room. I don't necessarily believe it's super important to have loot in every room, but like if you fight, bigger enemies like in these big rooms here, I'm definitely having some nice loot. In here there's the spiders, there's probably some like mummified kobolds or maybe even other adventurers in here, right? And maybe they've got equipment. Maybe there's like some chainmail here, right? I've got some rusted chainmail that they can take and they could use if they really wanted to. They probably already have chainmail if they can wear it, but they could sell it. And I'll probably have them roll again on one of the tables. And I mean, maybe I have them roll and I intend, hey, they're going to roll this. I'm going to have them roll on the same table and they're going to roll this again. Maybe they get another potion of climbing. I'm just like, okay, well, let me go check another table. Let's say they rolled another 60 something. I'm going to go to another table. And I'm just like, okay, you roll another 67. A dagger armband. That sounds fucking cool as shit. And aside from the fact that it requires a tune by a Warforged, I'll just be like, well, anyone can attune to it. But as a bonus action, an attractive armband for it to extend there. That just sounds cool, right? Maybe no one in the party can use it, but it's right. I think that's fine. Right, you can go. Actually, let me go to another table that isn't. That isn't from, it's Xanathar's, that looks better. That's not from Everon. Or I'd look, Moon Touch Creatures. There's another one. Maybe I don't want that whopping energy cell. I think that's for energy weapons. A whopping crossbow, maybe that's better. Yeah, some weird ammunition or something. Maybe I just pick some. Maybe they roll something. It's like, oh, you already have that item. And I pick something else that's cool or more useful. Maybe that's what I do. Right, when I put some cool loot in here, maybe no gold in here. But, and the same thing for this room. Right, but maybe I have maybe I have them roll on the magical item table. So I actually have go back to the DMG and was it E? No, it's F. F starts for magical items. So maybe I have them roll in here, and they'll roll another. They roll another ID 100. They roll a 46. So I'll look at here. It says +1 raw to the pact keep. I'm like, well, that's a warlock item. If there's a warlock, done. I'm done. I give them a +1 raw to the pact keeper. But if not, I'm just like, well, okay. Maybe a Pearl of Power is cool, or Slippers of Spider Clay. Maybe I'll just give them to that instead. And they've already got like they've probably already got like 4 or 5 magical items, and they're not like super crazy overpowered, right? Maybe one of them is, right. The Moontouch Sword is nice. Maybe whatever they roll in here is really nice. I mean, they can roll some really cool stuff from here, right? If they roll Winged Boots, I'm gonna give them Winged Boots, right? I've had someone do that before in one of my campaigns. They've rolled a 100 and gotten Winged Boots. It's super cool. And I mean, Winged Boots are honestly as much of a boon as a bane, because you can get to places that you maybe shouldn't be able to get to, because your party can't fly where you can fly, and if you get stuck into a spot where you can fly and your party can't save you, that's not good. But yeah, I'd probably give them Winged Boots. But yeah, just use different tables. That's what I'm gonna do for this dungeon. And that's gonna be super cool, and I think that's it. I think I'm done with the dungeon, right? I was gonna start putting a parcel together for this, but I'm gonna randomly roll. I'm gonna have them roll the D100. That way they feel like they're in the loot process, and it feels sort of cool and emergent and random as to what they got. Even though I might be, obviously picking things in the background in case something's like I don't want to give them plate mail, obviously, already, or I don't want to give them +1 magic, warlock wand if they don't have use for it yet. So they get official transmute those nothing magic items into whatever they want. Yeah. Oh yeah. All the cool new Tasha stuff. I haven't looked into that too much, but there's all sorts of crazy stuff that you can do. And I'll probably end up selling it if it's useless. Or, I don't know. It's up to them. They've got all sorts of ideas. The adventurers, the party will figure out what to do with magic items they don't need to use. And if I'm going to give them useless magic items, I should let them buy magic items as well. Which I think what I'm going to do next time is I'm going to build the first town. I think it's going to do next time. Because I'm done with the dungeon, and I think what I want to do, I guess I want to put this. I mean, I'm recording this now, and I'm streaming to Twitch and YouTube. But I think what I want to do is do like a different, separate YouTube video where I just describe the dungeon and what I built, and it's probably going to be super short, where I describe it and everything. And I should probably actually do that right now and just edit this out of the stream, because otherwise I'm done with the stream. Do I want to do that? That sounds kind of cool. And obviously that would get way more views than, well, it might get any views versus me just putting a 2-hour stream on YouTube. But I can show you something that will allow you to do a dungeon in less than half that time. I mean, yeah, there's probably tons of resources. I mean, I've used the donjon thing I can grab a map like that. I've seen other random ones. I think I have some of them bookmarked. So there's like some cartography ones. Master's Vault. That's other things. I've got some maps from other things. But yeah, there's all sorts of really cool things. I just kind of like making a lot of them on my own. Yeah, maybe I just do a little brief video. Dungeon map doodler? Is that even easier? That does look really cool. Let me bookmark this. Bookmark in D&D tools, yes. That looks nice. That does look nice. I will definitely take a look into this. That does look nice. I'll do it a little in another time, because I want to finish this up and get something to eat here in a little bit. I can just click and generate like an immediate dungeon. Google now. Generate dungeon. 30 generate. Oh, cool. Yeah, you can just. It's nice, and it'll just generate it for you. I might use that to inspire some things instead of using the donjon one. That is super cool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be using this. This is really good. Really appreciate that. But I'm gonna look into that later because I want to finish this out and get eating. So let's try and how would I go about a YouTube video? How would I describe this? How would I start that out? I'll just go over what I built. So yeah, let me go get some. Let me go get a new drink. Nope, I'm good. That's good enough. Actually, a little bit of water too. My voice is starting to get dry as well. Also got cookies I want to eat. And let's see. How would I intro a video? Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, trying to how would I intro a video? Something I would just cut out of this VOD at the end here for YouTube. I could probably do this off stream as well, but I'm live already, and it's enough anxiety of just clicking a live button. So I might as well just do it now while I'm already live. How do I want to start an intro? Man, I don't think I've ever done this before. Actually tried to start a video while I'm streaming. How fast I know I can generate generic. Yeah, that could be really quick. That could really. I mean, you could almost do just a, by the seat of your pants, D&D campaign entirely, but as quickly as you can make decent looking dungeons like that. I mean, obviously, I could also just have a dozen dungeon maps, which I kind of do. I kind of do have a dungeon, like a bunch of maps, stuff saved up generally, different to everything. But use this for save those for something. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this little short video, me describing the dungeon. All right, and I still got to figure out how to intro this. Okay, I'll probably sit up at the very least. All right, this here is the sort of first dungeon for my new campaign. I just sat down for the last 2 hours and put it together on Twitch. I streamed it live. I had a couple guys who decided to watch. It was really cool. But this here's a little video describing exactly what I did, just to give a brief summary about what I did here. And if you're interested in it, you can go watch the video, the whole 2 hour stream if you really want to. But if you just want the cliff notes here, this is it. So I just put this dungeon together from scratch in this brand new campaign I'm starting called the Dragon of Argon Mountain, which is just sort of a inspired by the new starter module, the was it the Ice Peak, the Dragon of Ice Peak Spire or whatever it is. And I decided, that's a really cool idea. Let me not read any of it because I like doing my own stuff and sort of build something similar to that idea. And so this is my first dungeon, the first encounter. This is where I'm going to drop my new players in. Should I run this for someone? Right now I'm just doing this because I really like to. I want to stream. And I really like building D&D stuff, so I'm doing this all at the same time. And this here, I'm just going to go over what I did in the last 2 hours. So you see this map. I built it with Dungeon Painter Studio. You can see right here, I put it together pretty quickly. And I built it just to have the player start off here, have a little encounter in every little room here. And I moved it over to Fantasy Grounds. And this is where I sort of decided where the encounters would be. And I designed this dungeon for my players to start out at first level, go through it, and then by the time they're done, they're going to have some magic items, and they're going to be at second level once they finish this up. And the first little encounter is just going to be a little 4 kobold thing. You know, if I have 4 players, it's going to be 4 kobolds. It's going to be 1 kobold for every player, for every PC, essentially. And they're going to come in here. It's going to be the first little initial counter. They're going to have the 3 doors, and they've got 3 directions to go, and they've got 3 different things. That 3 different, you know, nice little magic loot things here. But I think what I wanted to do was have a little bit cool little magic trinkets each time when I came in here. So whoever gets the last kill in these 4 kobolds in here, I'm gonna have them roll on a table, and I'm probably gonna have them maybe not on magic item table, maybe one of the Xanathar ones. I think I'm gonna have them, yeah, probably on the common table. Let's see, one of the common tables, there's like 3 or 4 of them, and they're gonna roll something like, you know, 46 or something, and they're gonna have some cool spyglass, you know, something cool and intricate. Maybe I'll like move it up or down a little bit, but I'll give them some cool little trinket from here. Maybe I'll do some art items, some of that loot stuff they can sell for money. But they'll fight the little kobolds in here. They'll move on. Say they go left. They're going to go down to the left corner. There's going to be 3 kobolds in here. Maybe they're all sleeping. Maybe I'll have them roll little stealth checks as they're coming through here. If they're new players, they're probably going to stomp through. Maybe I'll prompt them, hey, are you guys being quiet as you're walking through this little corridor down here? And they're like, oh yeah, we're probably being a little quiet. I'm like, okay, we'll roll stealth. And, you know, they'll probably fail unless they don't have someone with heavy armor or a splint or scale mail walking through here. And the kobolds are going to be alerted to the other side. But, you know, if they're experienced players, they might be like, yeah, we're just going to send the rogue. He's going to go through. He's going to look through the door. It's not locked. So, and he's going to see like the 3 sleeping kobolds in here, and they can get the drop on them. It's going to be a nice, cool little encounter, sort of introduction to new players to stealth if they want it. And there's no door here, because as they go to the north, I'm going to have a little brass wormling in here. Because, yeah, there's already kobolds in here. Why not throw something else dragony in here as well? And brass dragon wormling isn't particularly really strong, except he's got that fire breath, right? That can be really dangerous. So initiative can determine how tough this fight is. But there's some good loot in here, right? So a first level party can fight this and win this fairly easily. But it could also be a really deadly encounter. So they've got some good loot in here, right? I put a sword in the wall here. I think this is going to be like a moon touch short sword or a moon touched long sword, right? Depending on, you know, what, you know, a fightery character might want. Maybe they don't have some sort of fighter or paladin or barbarian who wants to use a sword. Maybe they have a rogue who just wants a short sword, right? At the worst case scenario, it's just more loot for them to carry out. And then they'll have like, you know, a little chest with gold. I'll probably have them roll on the table again, but probably like the basic DMG table A and just get one of the potions or spell scrolls or something, as well as some loot. I'll probably have them roll some D10s and say, yeah, you get, you know, 110 gold in the little chest after they kill the wormling. Great, awesome. Down the right side here, it's going to be a mostly empty room, maybe some moss and stuff. And if they're being smart, see, this is where, if they're brand new players, I hope to teach them that you got to be watching out for traps or, you know, monster dangers. Right here in the right corner, we're going to have some poisonous snakes, and they're not just sitting out on the floor. They're going to drop from the ceiling through little crevices, right? So if they're experienced players, they should be doing this themselves. But if they're new players, I'm gonna be like, hey, all right, yeah, as you come in here, give me, you know, whoever's leading, give me a perception check. If they roll a 15 or higher, I'll be like, yeah, you see like a snake tail like poking out of one of these holes, one of these crevices in the ceiling. You see small, thin holes, and they'll see the snakes. They won't get surprised by them, and maybe they'll have some cool idea of how they're going to get past them. But if they roll between a 10 and a 14, I'll be like, okay, you don't see the snake, but you see like little like crevices and holes stuff. Maybe it's an unstable ceiling, I'll tell them, or maybe like rats and stuff come like will fall out of there. So I won't specifically say snake, but I'll also hint to them, hey, there's something here. And if they're less than 10, well, they're just screwed. They don't see anything except moss on the walls. And if they really want to find some loot in here, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, you know, moss on the walls. Maybe I'll have some sort of special, you know, herb or something that they can make a nature check and see if they get. Otherwise, there probably isn't gonna be any loot in here, right? The snakes will fall, or they'll burn them out. However, they're gonna solve this, whether fighting or intuitively. They'll beat this. They'll go through the door here and they'll see the spider web in the wall. and they'll come into the spider den on the right hand side, where we're gonna have some giant wolf spiders here. And the wolf spiders are pretty tough. They got 11 health. I think this might be a tougher fight than here, right? The wolf spiders do a decent bit of damage, not as much as the dragon breath, but they're also not as strong. They have they're low armor class. They have more total hit points between the three of them. So if they're new, I might drop this down to 2. If they're experienced and they're just running this dungeon fine, I might bump it up to 4. I probably won't change how much XP the encounter is worth, because I want them to be 2nd level by the end of this dungeon. But we'll have them fight some spiders here, and then roll on the table again, right? I don't want them to. There's not going to be any gold in here. I'm gonna have them roll a D100. Whoever gets the last kill will do it again. And I don't know. I'll pick another table, or maybe the same table, depending on what they roll. Maybe I'll use all the tables. I'll look at every single option. Maybe he rolls a staff of adornment, but no one uses a staff. Maybe I'll look at something else. I'll check another table. For this one here, and it's like, oh yes, shift weave. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Maybe I'll give them that instead, and have another loot roll. But then we'll have that little branch done. We'll go through the main double doors, and they'll go into this open area where it's just a pit. It looks like just a pit with 10-foot, little jump that most characters should be able to get across. If your strength is 10, you can jump. You can make a running jump and jump 10 feet. And you can make it across here, right? So if they're a brand new party and they're kind of weak and stuff, I'll just probably leave it at that. They can also see the ladder that the kobolds use sitting on the wall up here, right? So they can see how the kobolds get across, and that they could maybe grappling hook across, or just have one person jump across and then grab it. But what I think I'm going to do is, since this is an easy jump, I'm going to grease this edge here. So when whoever jumps across, I'm gonna have them make a dex save, and probably make a DC 12 or so, about there. And if they fail, they fall down into the pit. And if they fall down into the pit, they'll probably take a D10 of damage. It's only a 10-foot pit. It's not a whole lot of damage. If it didn't have spikes, it would just be a regular D6, because you take a D6 of damage for every 10 feet you fall. But it's got spikes down here. They're probably gonna hit you too. So I'll just do 1d10. I would have done 2d2 or 2d10 if they were a higher level, but that might kill someone. That might just straight up kill a PC if I roll 2 10s on there. So just be 1d10, right? That's guaranteed not to kill someone. It might knock them unconscious, but it won't immediately kill them. So I think that's good there. And then I don't know. They're probably gonna solve this some other way. If they inspect the pit, I'll probably make another DC 15. Or maybe even higher. Spotting grease, 10 feet away, that far away, is pretty hard just by look. Or I might describe something like, oh yeah, it looks like it's wet on the other side, so it might be slippery. Maybe I don't explicitly tell them it's grease. Maybe I just hint that, oh yeah, there's some sort of liquid on the other side, like it's just wet. And they might assume it's going to be slippery or something. Or they might just assume that it's nothing, not to worry about it. But they'll get across here, and then they'll open the doors into the main room, where we got the final encounter with the Kobold Sorcerer, which I've sent them to fight. And the Kobold Sorcerer is is more or less a typical Kobold. He's got some Kobold minions to go be fodder for him as well. But he's got some extra health, so he survives at least a round or two. And he's got some cool spells. He can throw Burning Hands if he wants. He can command someone if he wants. Yeah, if a barbarian's getting close to him, just command him, hey, grovel or something, and just get on your knees, and then he'll have a round where he's getting destroyed by the minions up here. I'll probably give him mage armor for the fight if they make enough noise out here. And he's got sleep as well. All sorts of cool things I might use to fight. But that's pretty much a dungeon, right? They're gonna roll for loot. I might also hide another little opportunity for a loot roll in here, right? They want to search around for hidden areas. I'm like, okay, yeah, give me another investigation or perception, right? Have them roll around. They find under the bed another little hidden trove, or they find another chance to roll on top of whatever the gold I'm gonna put in the chest here, or the random magic item, right? Sometimes I like to pre-plan all of the different magic items and stuff. And I generally will, the higher level I get, because eventually, they should have everyone should have some magic items. I don't want there's to be like 8 swords, magic swords they just have for no reason, right? You know, the druid needs something as well, so does the wizard. I might start skewing it that way, but for the first dungeon, you know, only a handful of these things might be immediately useful to them. So rolling randomly just for cool looking and sounding loot is fine. Roll for the chest, they'll get the gold as well. They might find some more potions if they're more diligent around here. And that's the dungeon. It's super simple, super straightforward, and the sum of the encounters experience is not quite enough to get a 4-man party up to 2nd level, which is why I also gave them the little quest, the Cobalt Dungeon. So when I tell them, hey, yeah, all the party members for this new campaign I'm running, you're all gonna go. The thing is, you're all coming to this mountain because this dragon on the mountain has hordes and dungeons, you know, hidden everywhere across the mountain, and you guys are here to go steal that treasure, get that loot, get that money. And you guys, before they even started playing and made their character, and tell them you're gonna go. You found that the Cobalt Sorcerer lives in a dungeon, and he has loot here, and you're gonna go there, kill him, and take his loot. That's the goal, and that's the first session. And this is probably a 2-session dungeon, right? For an experienced team, they could probably get through it all in 1 session in a quick 4 hours, right? If they got their characters already. If it's a new the new players and stuff, if it's a new group, I might have them all make their characters the same session. That might take a bit, right? If they don't know how to do it, they're new to Fantasy Grounds and stuff. And this might be a 2-session dungeon, which is fine. That's fine. But I want them definitely to at least get to play with their new characters when they make it that same session. So I definitely want to have this ready for this first session, but I don't think I'm going to need any more for this. I think this is a really good 1st level dungeon that is going to be enticing. It's going to give them cool, intricate magical items and some good money and loot. So they can think, what am I going to spend this on? They can go back to a town, which I think we're going to build next time, and spend some of that money. Maybe and maybe find some cool new stuff to do. But I appreciate if you stopped and listened to this whole thing. If any of this is interesting to you, I'm glad. That's why I'm making this a cool, interesting, and at least inspiring things, right? You might not want to use this exact thing, but if anything in here sounds cool, like putting grease at the end of your spike trap so that, yeah, it looks like an easy spike trap, but you slip and fall, or you might slip and fall. If that sounds cool and you want to use that, or you want to start rolling for land, anything that you were inspired by, I just really appreciate that you stuck through and watched the whole video. And hopefully next time I'll have some more. We'll probably do a nice little city at the end for our next dungeon or our next stream. And I don't know when I'm gonna do this. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I got the weekend off, so maybe we'll do some more then. For anyone watching on the stream, I appreciate for you stopping by. I think we're gonna end it here because I gotta get something to eat. I'm probably gonna maybe try and sit down and edit a little bit and try and get that little short video out so I can put up on the channel. And maybe I'll have some more guys watch next time. But yeah, I appreciate you for stopping by. Appreciate you for watching. And